community, 3 tiers, 44 teams, and nearly 200 matches played. It's all led to this. Welcome to playoffs, where the pretenders get eliminated, no second chances are given, and only the strong will survive. We'll see dominant performances, we'll see rivals clash, and we'll see shocking upsets. Players and teams of all skill levels have practiced for months to get here, giving it everything they have, but at the end of the day, only one will achieve: tranquility.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Transcendence tier semifinals. We've got Second Chance versus Orbit. Now, I am Light Rose, and tonight with me is my co-caster Val.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? I, for one, am extremely excited for this semifinal matchup.
Yeah, after some complications with them, Orbit now has the second chance. I didn't even realize that my pun there. They have a second chance to go up against Second Chance.
Boo.
Yeah, all right, it was, I didn't mean for that to happen, all right? The best puns happen naturally. So, talking about these teams, Second Chance, they are in the running for a lot of people to win the entire thing.
I would have to agree with you there, given we have had some of the more prominent teams, like we mentioned, the In-Laws no longer in there, Havoc no longer in there. So a lot of people are flipping between Second Chance and Uncommitted going into the finals, with it being pretty much 50-50 split on who's going to win. But Orbit looking to play upset here tonight.
I mean, it's definitely possible, but Orbit has, they had that loss. Technically, they did win, but they have this chance to come back. And Second Chance, it's been a little flip-floppy. You don't really know who could come out here, because Orbit, I imagine that they might not have had the time to kind of practice. They think that they're out of it, and suddenly they just get thrusted back in.
Yeah, a lot of teams, especially like when the season is over, they'll take a week or so off, like, hey, we kind of grinded for the last couple of months. Everybody, get your mental in check, everybody just go off, do your own thing, and we'll start scrimming again, getting ready for season 5, next week. So yeah, they might be a little rusty, but that can also work to their advantage if you haven't. So the weird way that works is if you haven't been playing and you don't know the meta, then you just play some weird stuff, and the team has to deal with you playing weird stuff that they haven't been practicing against all week.
I mean, the no bans, though, that definitely could support that kind of wacky play, because you're not restricted by any of these heroes that are being off the board. But Second Chance definitely have been a little bit over the place. But as we go on to Oasis, I think both teams are looking to make a strong standing here.
Yeah, but like you said, no bans now. So we're not going to have to worry about the hero pools, anything like that. Everybody gets to come in with their full arsenal. And I think we can see some very, very interesting, very fun comps here. I know we still have quite a bit of time before the gates open, but we're already seeing some people have some fun with their hero picks. And we might be having a quite a different, in terms of styles here. We see Second Chance coming out on what will look to be... we're going to have Dive versus Brawl here, it looks like.
Give it the Tor McCree. This is definitely a comp that is not interrupted by any hero pools. And we just see a little bit of typical Dive. The only thing that could really be out of the ordinary is possibly the Sombra Brig, but I expect Second Chance are really trying to make that work. already Second Chance are going onto the high ground, and I think where these teams are going supports their comp a lot. We see My Big Mark trying to take up on that middle high ground, booping that Baptiste off, and it's just about where is this dive going to come from? Who are they going to single out? And can they beat this more brawly comp of Orbit?
Yeah, My Big Marv, though, getting taken down to half HP before the fight even starts. Lots of poke coming out with Kree long range, the Torb turret, Torb himself, and these Sigma spheres all coming out. And Sigma spheres, he gets the first pick.
Yeah, Orbit finding both the supports, they're going to be able to flip it, and it's just taking out the remaining heroes of Second Chance, and they got to back off. Khosrow going down, and Rocket going for a little bit of a long return back to spawn.
Just taking the scenic route today.
Yeah, not going to get taken out by any cars, luckily.
Yeah, that is something you have to watch out for, especially on the side of Second Chance. There's a Lucio on the enemy team, so you got to be watching for if you go for that mega pack, you've got to watch out for those boops. We've seen it all too often. Someone thinks they're safe, all of a sudden you get that right click and back to spawn room you go.
Now we're seeing this dive come in here, a great anti coming out from Sumeru, and it's going to allow Rocket to just clean up. That immortality here is really not going to do anything. And that was just a really coordinated dive coming up from Second Chance, definitely aided by the anti-native Sumeru.
A big thing that this comp is going to look to do, they have kind of a two-step process for this comp to work. What you want is you want to have your Sombra get in there, obviously call out a target, do some scouting. She will hack a target.
Oasis was not in the rotation.
Oasis was not in the rotation, apparently. We had a wrong map pick to start off.
That was a test.
Just ignore everything that happened for the last 2 minutes. Yeah, it looks like we will get a second chance at our first map here.
I'm leaving.
That's fair.
Well, that was just a little tease of what could occur. We saw an Orbit win, a Second Chance win. I'm just trying to make like some kind of joke.
I'm just gonna continue on the page that I was on with this Sombra Ana. So basically, you have the Sombra. She calls out a target. She hacks the target. You throw in a nade. They can't defend against it because, you know, if it's a Reinhardt, his shield gets hacked. You can't use that. So you have a nade, and then you jump in with a big 4, 5, 6 man nade like we saw. But now we will be on the proper map. We will be on Ilios. You can still see dive here. We can see snipers here. A lot of different combos you can run your brawl here. I'm very, very interested to see what happens.
I mean, I really can't tell what's going to be run here because I would like to see a Widow. There's some great Widow play, especially on the side of Second Chance. You know, Rocket winning that award just recently on the Iris podcast, but we could once again see that Sombra dive. It seemed to somewhat shift in their favor as they kind of came together, but only
and the
time
other thing
will
is
tell.
having that partial map already be played. Now there's now we know that you know that I know that you know what we're gonna run. So
it's like a 500 IQ mental game of chess.
Who's gonna outsmart who? Who's gonna outrotate? It looks like Second Chance not taking any second chance. They're gonna stick onto that.
You've hit your limit. You've hit your limit.
I'm going all night, baby. And we are going to see a slight change on the side of Orbit. No, never mind. They are going to go back, and we are going to see.
Yeah, the only thing different. Well, the only thing different is Rocket's going to be on the Genji instead of the Tracer this time. So
yeah,
or possibly something for those Ana nades, but I'm just waiting for this engagement. The dives need to occur. We could see an exact same thing happen of last time, but the dives from Khosrow, it's just waiting for the IGL of Second Chance to come on in, and now Khosrow is just trying to push back a little bit of Orbit.
Yeah, Sombra getting the early hack there on Robe, so he can't use any of his overload or anything like that. Not necessarily the best target there. You typically want to go for a tank or something that's got some mobility.
There is going to be some trading. Specs is going to get away with a little bit of health, but Robe's going to be able to take out Khosrow. In Orbit, they're still waiting a little bit to engage on the point because there's members of Second Chance to really repel this. But the more damage that they put in, the more that they're just going to usually be able to take this point, as Robe is going to be able to demech Marth. Specs taken out, so that's heal off the board But as that main tank jumps on, Khosrow not really going to do too much as the Coalescence is being brought out by Circle.
Yeah, and that Torb turret it may not have gotten a kill, but it got huge value. It did a lot of damage and forced second chance to, they had to turn their attention away from the actual enemies to deal with this turret. So now you're getting damage dealt to you, but you're not dealing any damage to the enemy team. That's a big swing. That seventh man turret can be very, very devastating sometimes.
Yeah, it's just really an annoyance. It's not going to be your main damage dealer, but it's just so annoying.
So darn annoying.
Oh, a Nano Blade coming out from Mocha. Claims 1, claims 2, and it should take out the Torb, and that's going to allow second chance to bring it on back. I mean, we can definitely see why Rocket, with the aid of the Nano Blade, won that award that I was previously mentioned last time.
Yeah, and that's huge. Only having to use the 2 ultimates there, you still have that ult economy going. We at 3 ultimates up, we should be getting an EMP shortly. Whereas on the side of Orbit there, they tried to counter with the slam with the gravitic flux. You got 2, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough to stop the onslaught. But we might be getting a molten core here. Yep, here we go.
Yep, Robe just gonna try to code it, but is gonna get slept, and Sumeru gonna also counter that off with an anti, and that's gonna take out Solstice, Sertle, and the rest of Orbit along with it. Great play already by Sumeru. I mean, we're seeing these anti-nades, we're seeing these sleep darts showing up in space.
And again, huge ult economy. All they used there was rally. So they're still gonna have EMP, bomb. That's gonna be a big combo right here. This EMP bomb combo. If they can hit it in the right place where they don't have cover to hide behind, it's going to take away the shields. It's going to take away the movement abilities. This could be devastating. This could end the map right here.
Yeah, oh, wait.
Oh, she gets stunned!
Solsta! I don't know if that was Solsta Shinobu, but they single-handedly could turn the fight in their direction. But as Bluebit and Shinobu go down, the rest of Orbit is just getting cleaned up. And while we do see some great play, some great CC, it's just the cards are not going to fall in this round. And that's going to go second chance and a big cleanup coming there, 100% to 36.
Oh, man, I feel bad because that was such a great play. I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't know if that was the rock or the flashbang. I think it was the flashbang.
Yeah, I did not be able to see. I mean, if it was the accretion, like
if it was the accretion, that takes the casting time was the accretion is longer than that. So you had to actually plan that. I'd be like, she's gonna be right there.
That would have been the biggest skill play I've ever seen ever. If that was the
massive galaxy brain.
Second chance. Like sorry. You go first.
We are gonna see a change here from the Torb to the May. So, trying to get a little bit more control here, trying to maybe wall off some of these flanking routes. Could be devastating. It also could freeze the D.Va. Now the D.Va defense matrix basically ineffective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lasers don't really do anything. The Echo Focusing Beam, Zarya's Laser Beam, whatever that's called, Maze Freeze are just prime examples of that. But the dive already coming through, Marth just dealing some consistent damage, but Bluebit gonna find the opening pick onto Specs. So that area denial is just not gonna be there. Sumeru's taken out as well, so there's gonna be no healing for second chance. And that should allow Orbit to cleanly take this first point, but Sertle's taken out. And right now this should be a clean take, but it's looking a little rocky for Orbit.
Yeah, not as clean as they would have liked, but they do get it eventually, and they do get a stagger kill there onto Rocket. So overall, they'll be happy with that. Now let's hope that they can, if you're a fan of Orbit, let's see if they can maintain it longer than they did last map. I think that'll be a little bit easier with this May. You can kind of control some of the aggression against this dive. You can control where they're coming from. You can slow them down. You can freeze them. Just so much control with this pick.
Rocket getting close to that Nano Blade, but that's not really going to matter, as Solsa is going to find them. Anthony's doing something, but the Shatter finding 3, and that means this is going to be a clean fight for Orbit. 1 ult having to be used, and they're going to have about 3 to back them up in this next one.
Fun fact, it turns out you can't use your ultimate ability when you're dead. So...
I never knew that!
Yeah, that's a very effective tool. That Solsta brought out there. Just kill him before he can ult, and you don't have to worry about the Nano Blade.
And now the only problem is we see Sumeru having the Nano. Rocket getting that Dragon Blade. They're going to receive the Nano. Specs not choosing to use the rally, but Rocket finding one. That should be more than enough as Shinobu's taken out with Spec. A lot of ults being registered. Khosrow, Rocket, and Sumeru all using it. But Orbit trying to fight this one back. They're able to take out Khosrow and Specs. Mygang Mark gonna be demech, but that's just gonna be a remech ult. And it's gonna find Robe. And it's hard to tell who's... I think it's just a Reinhardt and a Tracer on point.
Just a Reinhardt and Tracer. I hear an Ana shooting somewhere, I think, but there's Ruben single-handedly holding on to this point with that shoot. He's just like, no, this is my area. Get out.
He's just like, go away, please. This is my point.
I don't have time to deal with this.
Specs choosing to use that rally as Robe's able to take out Orsted early in the fight. And while Bluebit chooses to use that Shatter, 99% going on here, so now Second Chance have to win this fight. There is a trade-off coming out, but Shinobu gonna register that ult. Right now it's like a 4v4, but that Immortality Field is just gonna help Orbit so much. And as long as they take out this Ana, this Tracer, this point should be theirs in a lot cleaner fashion than we saw last round.
Oh, Shinobu gets stuck, but has the Wraith available and just slides right off of that Pulse Bomb. Nice play there, keeping that ability up. And I think, yeah, we're just going to see Orbit here cleaning up. Blizzard going to clear off the point. Doomfist going to try to stall it out, but I just don't see it happening. There's the charge.
Yeah, and it's just like... It's like a little bit of that ward ramp, but you're just like, okay, can you finish up? We all know where this is going.
Yeah, Bluebit's over there just staring at the watch, just like, okay, come on. Yep, I'm still swinging. Still swinging. Let's go. And that was very, very dominant, 100-0. But we do come to a map where it's a little bit more dive friendly, so to speak. So I think that I would give the advantage to Second Chance on this map.
But that Orisa could really shut that down. We could possibly see the dive come in, a halt, hook, freeze.
Oh, are we gonna see some pulled pork?
Yeah, that was a meta name I only recently found out, and it was amazing.
That was one of my favorite meta names.
Yeah, there's gonna be some changes. Yeah, gonna be some changes on the side of Second Chance. We see that Pharmacy come out, Hammond, a Roadhog, gonna be really going into the dive and more of just a straight damage with possible knockback.
The meta name that we're not allowed to say on stream because we don't want to get Monka TOS'd.
I don't know which one that is. I don't want to know, but Robe already starting this off with a very clean pick onto Sumeru, and that means Second Chance is going to really have a lot less healing, even though they do have the Mercy in the air of Specs. They're just trying to wait for Sumeru to get back, but that doesn't really matter. Rocket already getting close to that barrage. As Specs is taken out as well, that means there's going to be absolutely no healing. But Shinobu going to take a dive into the well. And this fight is just getting delayed out very long. And right there, Orbit finally going to be able to make it there.
Yeah, and you notice that I liked the focus from Shinobu and sort of looking up that Pharmacy comp, going after the Mercy instead of the Pharah, because obviously the Mercy can heal the Pharah rather quickly, but the Mercy's self-healing only triggers after not taking damage for a while, so much easier target to end up taking down first.
And it's going to be a lot of trading. A Barrage going to claim one, but Bluebit really going to go out with a bang with that the halt right in the middle, as this should mean that Orbit...
Oh, Marth done it.
Yeah, Marth barely going to survive, but it's just going to be enough.
Oh my goodness.
Is right now...
A whole suite of ultimates on the side of Orbit coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I was just about to mention that. And right now we're seeing one use Marth. Not going to last too long, as Mei is such a hard counter to that. And I don't know if many ults actually need to be used on Orbit, as you already have a 5v6, that Immortality is going down. But there's some great ability usage by Second Chance.
Yeah, Second Chance, they're using a lot of ultimates, so right now, forcing some ultimates outside of Orbit there, but the ult economy still has to favor Orbit here, since they're using them reactionary, they're not having to invest as much.
I mean, at this point, you can't really tell who's in the lead here. There's a lot of trading picks, a lot of ultimates being used. Right now, it seems to be favoring Orbit. They do have the picks. They have remaining ultimates. They got the High Noon. They got the Amplification Matrix. As Rocket and Specs go down, 85%. it's not going to last very long, and it's just about stalling it out here and getting back to the point.
Yeah, it's such a close. Rocket was so close to that flank barrage. And honestly, I just don't think this hog ball comp is working. That it's just not applying the pressure needed. They're able to focus out this pharmacy too much.
Rocket going to be able to trade out that high noon for a barrage. And right there, we do see Second Chance having the pick potential. They have the man count, but they just have to take it. They have to win this fight or the map is lost. Lucio getting so incredibly low and just going to be able to escape. Marth having those mines, and Lerman's not going to last too much longer, as finally Second Chance should be able to swing this round in their favor.
Yeah, Murph says, I've had enough of this little frog running around, just bowls him over. Is going to zone him off with the mines here, as we see Doomfist doing his thing. Just slamming around, getting that disruption in. And this should eventually turn in favor of Second Chance, but I don't know. Big rock there. Cuts him out of result, but no, Rocket gets another kill onto Lerman's.
Sorry, Lucio, you don't get
Lerman's the only one dying as he's just cycling out.
Oh, yeah. And there we go. We saw some iffy. We don't know if Second Chance were actually going to pull it out, but finally they're going to flip it, and they've got some ults to back them up. They got the Orsted's High Noon, Rockets, Meteor Strike, Sumerio's Nanos, which have been on point, but then you look at the ultimate charge, ultimates of Orbit.
Yeah, and the big thing here is no matter who they nano, unless they try to do a nano, the old electric cowboy, get the nano High Noon, Beat can pretty much keep them alive long enough for that. And now we have a very aggressive window here coming out of Sertal.
Yeah, it's going to take out Specs, going to take out Costro. The Blizzard going to try to immediately make this. There's a Shinobu, takes out Orsted. Rocket going to try to flip this around, but the picks are just there for Orbit. As Rocket claims a second. That's the first step in bringing this back, as the point is barely not going to take his. Rocket claims another one, and finally Rogue is able to put a stop to that, as Mark's just trying to roll around, make as much noise as they can. And Second Chance, this is the last point here. This is it, as somehow they're able to bring it back.
Yeah, Orsted just would not give up, but then they get off the point, it does flip. And the one thing that this comp does from Orbit is that it is a very strong at holding the point, but they managed to focus the Orisa down very, very quickly, and they're going to flip this point back.
One thing now is you just look back at that ultimate 3 on the side of Orbit, and almost next to none on the side of Second Chance. That could really be the key factor in winning here.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Marv. Getting a big value out of this minefield. And Orsted, Tracer can build ult very quickly, so if she can get a stick onto somebody that, onto the Lucio, onto the Baptiste, force something out. You can see here, but oh, that's a big flux.
Yeah, and as Lerman's is going to give that extra HP to the rest of Orbit. Orsted taken down, but Lerman's still getting bullied by the man with the golden fist, Rocket. As Specs is taken down solo and finally going out, and Rocket is just trying their best to bring this back single-handedly. And right now, it's just working. Like, what? He's just walking all over the rest of Orbit.
This is the Rocket show. We're just all along for the ride, man.
Oh my god, there were so many solo kills, and I think that play alone means Second Chance is going to take Ilios on one that we saw very clearly almost go in the side of Orbit.
Yeah, that map could have very easily gone both ways. We've been talking about him all map. Rocket coming up huge here. This is gonna be the end. This is
oh my!
He just ran all over Orbit here.
Boom! Boom!
Here comes in. Devastating. As if Doomfist didn't do enough damage. We see Rocket almost 17k damage. 35% of his team damage going out there.
I mean, but shout out to Specs' mom for hanging out here. You saw your son win around, and I think that's something you can't really replicate. And that's going to allow Second Chance to go up in the series 1-0. As really, Orbit definitely can't get down because I think a lot of the momentum was in their direction.
Yeah, definitely don't get down on yourself, Orbit. You're already the massive underdog into this match, and you went toe-to-toe with Second Chance in that map. Could have very easily gone their way. just definitely keep the chin up and keep this momentum going because this is going to be a great match. We could definitely be in for a 7-mapper tonight. Possibly more if we get some draws. We could be in for a 9-mapper. So everybody get your drinks, get your food, get comfortable. I have the feeling we're going to be here for a while tonight.
Yeah, get your ramen, possibly. I don't know. I know I'm going to get some ramen after halftime. I got a little bit of that craving,
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got some stuff marinated. I got some chicken and some shrimp marinating, so I don't have time. I don't got time to cook that up during halftime, unfortunately.
Yeah, you throw a little bit of that in the pot. I don't know, heat it up. I've never cooked before, so like it can't be that hard, right?
Sure. You don't have to go to school, to be a chef or anything.
Like whatever. What is it? Chef Boyardee, Campbell soup, all that stuff. I know how to satiate my hunger. I don't need to go to school to do that.
Don't need no fancy book learning.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, in the end, food is food.
Okay. So we've got Anubis coming out from orbit, probably trying to pick a map that they can bunker down on. Try to avoid some of that dive. Dive certainly can be played on this map, but it's kind of fallen out of style since, 2017?
I mean, bunker is still usually played on this map, at least with the Orisa. But you don't see the, like, typical bunker, with the Bastion, that kind of stuff.
Oof. I'd love to see some... I would just go full tilt with it. Give me a Bastion and a Torbjorn and just bunker down. Maybe switch in a Junkrat in there, maybe. See, look at that. Rocket heard me.
Yeah. I mean, Junkrat on Anubis is still...
Annoying?
It's annoying, yes. But it's also becoming more common. Junkrat is those small areas, especially on the left side of point A. You're just able to rain those bombs in, and it just is devastating amount of damage. You're able to get that ult charge. And Junkrat's ult is one of, honestly, the strongest in the game, in my personal opinion, because it's fast, and sometimes teams just do not know where it is, and it's able to take out your entire team with, like, the click of a button.
It's a very, very good ultimate, especially being used mid-fight. If you try to use it to initiate... People can hear, they can track it down, they can focus it. But if you use it mid-fight, when all hell is breaking loose, people have no idea where it's coming from.
Yeah, we are seeing this engagement happen. Just a high ground, and that Maywall is going to shut that down.
Oh,
and they're just going to immediately go through that. Rocket just putting a stop to it already. And this pushes over really before it began with Rocket's pick on Sertle.
But they do get a pick onto Rocket. Now, if they can dive very, very quickly here, they can possibly get back before him, but I think they staggered it out just enough to where Rocket can use his mines to get back in time. But yeah, Rocket with the opening kill there, they thought they were ever going to be speed passing. He's like, no. Yeah, not with these Junkrat buffs that came out.
Already, that swap onto the Pharah by Shinobu. I mean, that is one of the hardest counters in the game. It's just Pharah to Junkrat. And that is happening right here, making sure that Rocket does not...
Show him up, Rocket. Just mind jump into his face.
Oh my god, please.
Be alpha.
That would be the best things ever. But I doubt that's going to happen as we are in the Transcendence tier. We usually... It's possible, but we're in high-level play.
Oh, he got hit with the rock, though.
Robe taking out Smugs as Smugs was getting so close to that ultimate, as now it's a 5v6 with so much damage being rained in. And there's being a little bit of a split as My Big Marf is just having to be cornered to the left side. Really, Orbit, all they need is just one more to finish this out.
But we do hear a Hanzo ultimate, coming from spawn almost. Sends it in, divides the point.
That's not really gonna do too much as Orbit should.
Get him, Rocket. Get him. Oh, Mercy not respecting the 1v1.
We're not supposed to be biased. We're not supposed to be biased, Val.
I just want to see the Junkrat. I don't care whose side it is. I just want to see a Junkrat kill a Pharah. Yeah, it's hero bias. It is not team bias. It is simply hero bias.
Fine. All right. I mean, I have to.
It is a little loophole.
It would be engaging to see the Junkrat take that out as we're seeing the tire come in, and it is going to claim Solsta. And with Robe going down, Bluebit getting so low, that means that this push is really over with the committal of one ultimate by Rocket. But a very Chad charge coming out from Khosrow. And they're just going to... make that there. Like,
but speaking of ulti oh. Is he gonna be cheeky? Is he gonna go for it? He is.
uh-oh.
They don't know. Wait, do they suspect?
Oh, they don't. They don't.
They don't. Oh, they do!
It's a wrap. It's a wrap! God! And as 2 go down, well, Sumeru is able to go down. Smug is gonna finish it out with the punch under Robe. Will Rocket finish it off? It's not gonna happen.
That was your chance, Junkrat. That was your chance. PDK Kid would have hit that.
Oh, wow. Wow. You can't say that as... Look, Rocket heard you and was like, no, I can't handle that. He's gonna go down to Shinobu. And that means that this push is gonna go really fast as they're waiting for Rocket to respawn.
And they have 5 ultimates to push in with this.
Yeah, and Weedrop's gonna negate that as 2 go down, and another with Shinobu's ult, and you just gotta find My Big Marf here, and now it's just about the stagger game.
Yeah, they need to kind of zone out a little bit. Rocket going over to the Tracer, gonna get that touch. A little bit annoying to deal with, so can hopefully stall out a little bit. Yep,
I
here we go.
mean, all of them are there, but the ultimates are there, and the just raw damage. That's what that kind of stall brings you, is while you do have the movement, you just lack so much damage. And when you've got that Pharah, you've got that Reinhardt, it's just going to really beat you up without strong coordination and misplay.
Trying to force yourself onto a point that is being held by a Mercy boosted Pharah is just not fun at all, because there's only 2 ways you can go. You're either coming out the left door or the right door. You have 4 people looking one way. I've got my Pharmacy looking the other way. You're gonna take damage before you even touch that point. It's not very fun. Online NPC calling us out biased caches. Look, we are not biased towards the teams. I'm just biased towards wanting to see Junkrat kill a Pharah because I think it's funny.
I also have gained info that we actually have a second mom in the chat tonight. So one on opposing teams, Sertle's mom. Could we get a mom battle? Is that possible?
Okay, so this is how it happens. If there's a draw on a map, the moms have to log in, and we have a mom 1v1 for the map.
Yes. All right. Torb Hammer duel.
Torb Hammer mom 1v1s. Yes.
All right, that is gonna happen. Coming to a Trank event near you. Mom 1v1.
Next season 5 All-Star Break weekend. Parent Torb Hammer 1v1s.
Not lying. I would really enjoy that.
Freaking hilarious.
I would really enjoy that. See, Trank parents.
We had to have an age minimum too. Your parents have to be over 55, 60, something like that. They have to be just old.
Yeah, sorry.
No young parents. No
sorry,
no
boy
parents
kid.
the game. Yeah.
But hopefully, a second chance of trying to at least replicate the really big push that Orbit had. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. That's a real big push, and Shinobu trying to find the heads of anyone who dares come onto that right side. As My Big Marf gonna try to duel that Widowmaker, at least group him off that high ground. That's not gonna happen too much, as right now, second chance is just trying to force Orbit back on point as Smugs takes out Shinobu, making it a 5v6.
Yeah, we saw the ball get force the Widow to change high grounds, putting him right into Smugs' range, or right into his eyesights, and just rocketed him down 2 quick rockets. And looks like this is gonna be a quick point capture. Oh, sorry, not point capture. Quick point capture here for the side of second chance. So they're gonna try to snowball this. They have a couple ultimates about to come online, whereas we see some changes. Shinobu, Bluebit both changing, so sacrificing the ult for what they believe to be a better company. Oh, you guys got to finish capping the point there.
Yeah, little too early, but I mean, they want to get the most amount of time. They could get the absolutely massive amount of time here if they play their cards right, possibly over 4 minutes, depending how long this fight lasts. And it's just all up to Orbit in repelling this. In terms of ultimate charge, they're getting Sertle's Amplification Matrix and Robe's kind of goo, as Sertle is going to use that. And ultimates from Second Chance are just being used, and they're able to take out 2, 3 even. As right now, once again, it's just going back to the stall game. Who has the better stall here?
And honestly, Smugs using the Rocket Barrage and living is just not something we see a lot of, and kind of demoralizing. All the way up to 95% here. They just have to get him off for a little bit, and they will cap with almost a 5-minute bank here if they can force him off. But we see the goo come out.
Able to take out Specs, though. That could be the first step, possibly one more, but it's just Lermans and the Tracer left on the point. That means the stall is still here. It's just happening over and over again, and now that Ice Block is going to waste the precious seconds that remain, and it's going to allow the Mercy of Exumerum getting absolutely very low. Rocket going down. So that, once again, is just the first step as Smugs is getting so low, and now Orbit could actually bring it back.
I think you're right, and like you said, it all started with that kill on the Specs. You just need one. You just need to get it started.
I actually think we saw a nanoed Mercy.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. But Lerman's still claiming more as the stall game really is working out here. I believe Orbit has wasted at least a minute coming through here. And it's just working out here. The Coalescence from Serval are going to try to
deal... We're so close.
Damn it. It's just... Oh my...
My goodness. This is just a clinic in how to stall coming out from Orbit here. This is phenomenal.
And I cannot stress it's enough. Lol.
0.2. They've been at 9. They were at 95. They're at 99.8. It's about 5 minutes left on the timer, so we're going on a minute and a half here. And Robe gets 2. This could be turned around.
And it is.
It is. It is. They're gonna fight them off.
0.2 could be the difference between loss and win on this map.
My goodness. And that is excellent stall there. With the May swap going over, you just build a little bit of time here, and now you get 4 people onto the point together, and you're all focusing one target. You just need one. And getting Specs was huge because Mercy can res everybody on the team except herself. So now you definitely have that numbers advantage, and you just slowly chip away from there, as we saw realistically a 2-minute fight that they just...
Could we possibly see that again? Robe's Blizzard gonna come out, and his Rocket's gonna be able to find Solsta. The freeze is gonna go into Coast Rope, but it's really not gonna do much. There's not gonna be enough damage there. As Smugs is gonna try to deal anything, try to replicate the Doom Fist of Rocket, perhaps, like we saw in Ilios. As another one goes down, that's Blue and Shinobu. Sadly, that Maywall. Yeah, the Maywall. It is 2 ways, so it can be friendly and negative, but Spec's gonna be able to revive Kosuro as this... I feel like bad saying it should happen because we've seen some crazy things happen.
We can't do this again. Not again. Okay. Oh. But they now have almost a full minute over second chance.
Oh, that... I think that both of us, that is not how we thought that was going to go down, especially going into like 4 minutes, 5 minutes in the time clock there.
What a defense, though, giving themselves an extra chance. And we're not going to say second. We're going to say they gave themselves an extra chance at defending that point there by just not giving a lot of teams. Yeah, additional opportunities. There we go. That is going to be Second Chance's name next season. I'm calling it right now.
Additional opportunities.
But
oh my god.
Yeah, we just see what happens when you really just kind of believe and you don't give up. A lot of teams in that scenario like, oh man, they only need 5% more. Yeah, I'll run out there, but like I'm just gonna use my May block and then they're gonna kill me. But no, they really genuinely, used their best. They were AD strafing, they were dodging, they were ducking, they were dipping, they were diving.
Yeah, I mean, but literally every single second counted. Because in the end, it was 0.2 away. If anybody like stepped off, saw a pretty butterfly or something, I don't know. That means that point would have gone in Second Chance's way with a much bigger time bank, as they're gonna have 2 minutes to have hopefully a better point B stall and a really exemplary point A stall like we saw in the first push.
Yeah, and I like the change coming out, putting Robe on the May immediately. Giving him that little extra control there. if nothing else, can stall out. If they're gonna lose point one, can stall out. The first point. Really, because at this point you're fighting the time battle. Now you have that minute advantage. You want to eke out every second that you can from this attack.
Yeah, my McMarf gonna go down, but luckily gonna be res. I mean, that's just the versatility that Mercy brings you. But Smug, sadly, not gonna be able to live out that res. As that Pharah damage gone from the sky means that a lot of the just consistent damage is gone. And with that, no pressure onto Orbit means that Marf is gonna go down, Coaster gonna have to back off, and now you've got about a minute left, and a lot of ultimates coming online for Orbit.
Yeah, some big ultimates too. Deadeye can basically shut Pharmacy down, force him to hide. Then you have the Baptiste window, the Amplification Matrix that can just shred through anything. And they're pretty close to a Blizzard. Blizzard just controls the entire point. Says no.
Coaster actually is he's a little hiding in the back. Not actually doing too much. He's gonna start taking the objective, but as they're doing that, my Big Marf is gonna be demeched, Rocket down but res. And I mean, Coaster sadly not gonna be able to replicate Muma's great adventure. And with that damage gone, that shield gone, the dive kind of IGL, usually Winston is, which we might not, on Orbit, or second chance, but I think it's all up to the Nano Blade and the barrage of Smugs here.
Can we get a big flux here, though? Oh, the Sky Noon!
Smugs taking out 2 as Rocket's able to take out that Immortality Field, and this could easily go on the side of second chance as Khosrow gets revived, but Rocket is taken down. We're all looking at Smugs' barrage. They're able to take out Shinobi and able to take out the Lucio. And in the end, the eliminations work out for them as point A is going to go on the side of second chance, and they're going to have about 30 seconds to take point B.
Yeah, not a lot of time, and they had to use all but one of their ultimates just to get that point. So very, very tough here. Where there's going to be a Shatter and an Amplification Matrix on the other side.
At least you got the first point, though. That means that this is somewhat winnable. So
it's also now drawable, though.
It was always drawable from the start, honestly.
It's Anubis. It's always drawable.
Yeah.
That's my secret, Captain.
Khosrow bringing out the Primal Rage, trying to find something, but the Maywall freeze is just going to be too much. Smug's going to be able to find Lermans along with Marf, but Bluebit showing up in the kill feed in spades, making sure that there's no chance for second chance to take the second point. See, it was a different pun this time, so like, I'm allowed.
We're trying our best to be professional here. That's a lie.
See, this is the cast of both of us do bad puns and the other one reacts negatively.
Well, this is what happens when you give a second chance against the team who literally has a second chance. All right, this is their fault.
I guess that's fair. Like,
I blame this on the Tranquility community staff.
The stars were aligned for it.
But we see with about 3 minutes here, if they get a fast take onto point one, got about a minute and a half onto point two, they only need a tick. They only need a tick onto the second point to get it. And we know that they're perfectly capable of it. They're going to come out with a very strange comp here. It's going to be like a pharmacy brawl comp.
I mean, but it is the attacking, so like the baits are possible. And I don't know what's happening with like spinning and like some shenanigans happening pre-game, but I mean, we mentioned that we haven't seen some crazy comps like we mentioned before. Technically Oasis, which wasn't even in the rotation, but we mentioned the Pharah. Here comes that Pharah.
Yeah, so I think they're going to try to section them off with the May wall here, and then just use the wall behind to kind of give Pharah room to get extra splash damage to force people into tight spaces.
Mm-hmm.
See?
I think it's possible for Orbit to win this map, but they need to have a very good first point take. If their push takes the entirety of their time bank, then I see a draw coming.
Yeah, that's not the best start, but the res does come in. What a bold res by Sertle.
And I mean, just as I mentioned that things are going bad, that res just completely changed things around as Robe is able to claim the DPS, and that's just going to snowball Orbit all the way to taking this first point, and they're going to have about 2 minutes to take the second point.
Yeah, they really committed to stopping that res. They sent the D.Va, they sent the McCree, and I think I saw a May over there trying to deal with it, and the Kree and the D.Va both went down, failed to get the kill onto the Mercy, which would have been devastating. I'll give them credit for that. That's a huge opening pick.
Yeah, it takes out Rocket. That means that Barrage, there's going to be no consistent damage, but that doesn't really matter. The defense matrix comes out, and the aggressive play, sadly, is not going to work out. As Shinobu actually, the res turn things around again, but my big Mark, a big eat, he's hungry today, takes out the Blizzard of Robe along with the life of the May. And you're just going to have to back off here. Things did look good. The res, once again, could have changed things around. A minute 30. That Gravitic Flux, along with the Shatter and Beat Drop, are your tickets to winning this map.
Yeah, however, on the side of Second Chance here, a lot of ultimates. Almost the full suite. They have Blizzard, they have Shatter, they have Bomb. All of those capable of single-handedly changing fights. So this is going to be... I think they're just stalling out, trying to get some poke onto Shinobu, trying to get this built up. Oh, we see an early Flux, though.
Yeah, along with the Shatter and Robe, the first to go down.
They snuck onto the point.
With Bluebit. Oh my god, I didn't even notice that! They actually almost got it, too!
Pharmacy was being sneaky.
I think, though, that would have been the biggest C9 ever. I don't know if that would be considered a C9, but 40 seconds left, and it's just about taking out Rocket here. Making sure that no more staggers occur, but you still have the Valkyrie Lermans getting res, so now 4 are there for Orbit, and there's almost no support else. You've got the defensive matrix of Marth, the self-destruct, and the Nano Sumero, and it's just about this, is that self-destruct's trying to take out one, and it's going to take out Solsta. And with only 15 seconds, Lurman goes down as well. That means there's no beat drop. And now, sadly, Orbiter not going to be able to touch, and it looked winnable. And now it just is not going to happen, as it's just about touching the point here, making sure overtime occurs. And sadly, a draw is going to happen. I mean,
Yeah,
barring an amazing, like, miracle stall, whatever.
We believe. No, we just don't want to see the draw. This isn't about teams. We just don't want to see the draw at this point.
Yeah,
we should get enough on Anubis.
Draws, I mean, they happen on Anubis so much. 2 CP.
Yeah, drawing in Anubis, name a more iconic duo.
Yeah, and Second Chance gonna keep their lead 1-0. And that means, I believe, we could have is a map 8 or a map 9?
We could have a map 8. We could have a map 9, actually, if we draw on a hybrid map.
Don't even mention that. I don't mention anywhere in the vicinity of...
Given how close both these teams have been on both the maps we've seen so far, a map 9 is highly likely at this point.
I mean, we're here for it. And now I think it's still... Is it still Orbit's pick, I believe?
Yes, it is. But
now,
eat your heart out, Boston versus Houston. You thought going 7 maps in a first to 3 was long. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be here for several more hours. We're gonna push this all the way to probably about midnight.
Give me 2 half times 2 ramen bowls to make. But we still got a lot of Overwatch to play, as we have a minimum of 3 maps to go, because Second Chance, it's a first to 4. But Orbit definitely have the skills to win more than enough maps to win this.
Definitely, like we saw. They just didn't quite take advantage. They got a little too greedy when they were getting those opening picks, like especially that very first fight on the second point there. They got the opening pick onto the McCree, the big counter for the Pharah, but then immediately hit Q with the D.Va right in her face. And I would like to see to use that pick, force the point, use that man advantage you have, force the D.Va to use the defense matrix onto something else, and then come in on an off angle with that. They just those little things can be the difference between, as we see, winning and drawing a map, and being tied 1-1, being down 1-0, possibly almost down 2-0. So they just have to clean up these little things like that.
I mean, there's a lot of time to do that. I mean, coaches can help. We're seeing some coaching come in. You know, some of the sidelines we have. It's interesting. We've had some like, if you mentioned in the seeing the discussions that there's some coaching clearing up, I guess. And so the teams, I don't really know how to explain it because I personally don't play, so it doesn't affect me, which is I think a saying that can affect a lot of people. But we're waiting for things to get started. Internet's possibly being reset. So now we're doing the one things that I think casters have to be great at, and that's stalling. One thing that Orbit's pretty good at, you know?
Yeah. I mean, well, I think looking at both these teams, I think what it boils down to is just Orbit's icon game is on point, as we can see here in the watch.
Chat can't even see the icon.
They can't, but they have 6 different Pachimaris icons. So they're running the Patchy gang. Everybody's got their own different one. We've got what looks to be, I think, from the anniversary, like one of the.
We've run out of content, so we're just going to describe to you how
a Chinese New Year Pachimari.
We're just waiting for lobby stuff, coaches being brought in, you know, typical things that happen.
Coaching can be huge because, like I mentioned, just a few little things here and there on either side could have won that map, could have changed the first map. So we're going to see who's getting the better coaching going into this. Well, not quite second half because we're not at halftime yet, but going into these later matches or these later maps, we will see just who has the advantage in the coaching category.
Yeah, I mean, coaching can really make a team, along with some GM and just some big things. It just can. I mean, you look at Nerdables, and Nerdables, I don't believe Nerdables has had the honor of really coaching any teams. But if you go backwards, like Season 1 Havoc, Nerdables kind of brought that team. He was a great support, but he was just a great coach. And he brought his team to a, you know, people look at commit, compare Havoc and commit. And these teams, one of these teams that they had in common was the coaching. So, could really make the difference.
Yeah, you see it at all levels of play. You know, you see it from, you know, communities like this all the way up into OWL, where a lot of former players would be like, yeah, I couldn't quite get over the edge, and then this coach was brought in. And it can be a multitude of things. It can be a training regimen, you know, working on your mechanical skill. It can be a philosophy, looking at the game a certain way that they just didn't think about before. Like, oh man, that really opens up, you know, new ways of playing. It could be, you know, it could just be motivation to play different here. Like, hey, I've been watching your skill set. You might be really good at Genji instead of this here, and something just clicks. So coaching can really, really change things up.
And we're going back into it, luckily. Kings Row.
Kings Row, another drawable map.
Oh, don't.
We could be 1-0 going into halftime.
We talk as if we're gonna end this in the next 2 hours, alright?
Actually, looking ahead, it goes hybrid, escort, control. There's then another hybrid map that we could potentially draw and go to map 10.
Alright, so going on to Kings Row. Let's focus on the map and not the 7 future maps that we could potentially have.
Oh, Specs changing it up, actually, coming out on the Brigitte. We're going to see a hard double shield from the side of Second Chance here.
30 seconds.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that hero pools just kind of give you. The absence, actually, of hero pools give you is you can, like we saw the Orisa Sigma, you know, run the double shield with Orisa Mei. It's completely possible along with the Mei, and I just think possibly Second Chance are prepared for this.
This is going to be a potentially very devastating combination. They can pull them in with the Orisa, wall them off with the Mei, and now you just have 6 people brawling against 1 or 2 people. This could get ugly. Oh, are we gonna see the top hat?
Oh
Here
god.
it comes.
Oh my god. I haven't seen
And
this
there's
in
no range. There's no range from second chance.
How do you be prepared for that? Like, there's almost no way to be prepared for that because you don't expect teams to run it. And with both of your tanks down, your Doomfist cowering behind it, and as that goes down, this should go in the vicinity, even though that Bastion's taken down. You really did your job.
We just saw that work in Transcendence. I'm
Rock-
not angry. I'm not angry. I'm actually really excited that that worked, but
Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, why not? We see, though, that Second Chance actually win the fight after that. Some individual big plays from Rocket, healing coming out from Sumeru. And now taking back the Arches.
yes,
This, I think, the Arches are a map in itself, honestly.
Yeah. And they have a very good composition for it. They had this very close range brawly composition. Excellent for holding this, as we see the wall come out to separate them off.
I just kind of stuck there. Reinhardt was actually a little bit stuck in the corner. Khosrow given the nano, given free reign to just destroy at will. And right there, that Maywall, Khosrow getting actually very low, but the Maywall and the May Freeze are just going to be enough to back up the big German boy. And right there, Orbit gonna have to back up and give him possibly another opportunity to bring about this Arches. I didn't say second chance. I've made sure that I didn't say second chance.
Yeah, but like we mentioned, this archery has very, very strong goal. I've seen teams just hold here for the entire match. We could very well see a 5-minute hold on this archway if they use their ults in a very productive manner.
Here comes that gravitic flux from Marth. Not gonna be do something, but a combo!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god! That is the juiciest uppercut right there. Just hands down. 3 with 1.
That was an absolutely Chad shatter. Oh my goodness. The huge gravitic flux. They thought they were safe with the immortality field. Conjure just says, nah.
Now Smugs' Blizzard are just going to try to split off the rest of Orbit. But that immortality field's going to try to keep the rest of them alive. But Orbit are just having so much trouble cracking this enigma of architecture. Is the Arches.
Yeah, and they do eventually get enough kills to where they have to give it up. They can't hold there. But they're still able to have another fight in the street phase. They're just eating time off this clock or second chance. And that can be devastating because when we do see caps on Kings Row, you generally see it with minute and a half, a minute or more. But they're just chipping away at this clock little by little.
Marv gonna be able to eat that. Blizzard gonna be able to take out 2 Rocket. Why not following up with another uppercut that's gonna claim more than 1? And just the teamwork, especially with these gravitic fluxes and shatters, are just on point.
Rocket needs to buy some G Fuel for Marf right now because Marf is hitting massive, absolutely massive gravitic fluxes right now. And oh, we see Conjure hiding again.
Oh no! Check your corners!
Going for it!
Yeah, and just the combo with Rocket should really be more than enough to shut it down. As it's going to take out Shinobu, take out Lermans. And there's been so much time wasted in this one stretch of land.
Let this be a lesson, teams. Clear your corners.
But now...
We've seen a hidden shatter.
Oh my gosh. But now, the ultimates, you now seem to see the ultimates being used by Orbit. Gravitic Flux just being eaten! Marth, that's 2 on the map! And just absolutely being great, but Shinobu gonna try to bring it back with that 2-man Deadeye, but Rocket is just... Rocket!
Stop it! They have families! They have people who care about them!
And finally, Robe just gonna try to just shut Rocket down, somehow bring him back to spawn, but that's not gonna be enough. as Rocket actually gonna swap from the Doom onto the McCree, as this pressure, I guess, is gonna force Second Chance to just back up a little bit. You don't have that main damage dealer.
Yeah, but I want to go back to Marv for a quick second. Second big eat. Second time he's eaten he ate a Blizzard and then a grab. I mean, just huge.
Now Marv grab really able to claim another one with the combo of Rocket. Well, Kosuro is going down, making a 5v5 4v4 now with the picks being taken out, and the wall just going to make sure that they don't go out of Subway. Yeah, that beat drop really isn't going to do much.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Although, unless...
Personally, we have cursed...
We have been so wrong on so many levels tonight.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the beat drop, excuse us, Lermans, that you clearly had the brains there to pull that off. And that's going to work out. But 30 seconds left, and now just going on to the second point. But I think there is going to be a little bit of contesting here. That Nano going to go onto Khosrow, and the Immortality barely going to be able to save Bluebit. And the Shatter going to be nothing but Rocket. Going to be able to find Solsta. That means there's going to be no freezes. And the Blizzard only really going to be able to claim Khosrow. One more on each side really could be the ticket. It's taking this out, and that's Robe. Gone. No more bubbles. No chance to get the grabs. And as a Blizzard from Smug comes out, this looks to be Second Chance.
Yeah, that was the last chance there for Orbit to get the second point there. So, an excellent hold in the street phase. Held for about 2 minutes at the archway. Got multiple fights in the middle of the streets, and then finally had that last fight there just at the end of second point. An excellent job, well done. And that all goes back to when they were losing that first fight, when they were losing first point, they didn't get a team wipe against them. They lost 2 or 3 people. Then they retreated, got back up to 6, pushed back in after the point was capped, got a couple kills, and then were able to take such a strong defensive hold. So they may have lost the battle of first point, but they won the war of the map, essentially, being able to hold them without full capping.
Yeah, and Second Chance really don't have that far to go. They just have to cap the point, get through that one long phase that caused Orbit so much trouble, and essentially the map is theirs.
Yeah. I mean, holding in the streets phase for that long, we see it sometimes, but not very often. Like I said, we typically will see it at that archway. You'll see like a 2.5, 3 minute point A hold, and then they only have to hold the arches for 3 minutes or so. So that's much more doable. But for a 5-minute street hold, that's just nutty. You don't really see that at any level of play. So big kudos to Second Chance there.
I think Orbit are definitely wanting to replicate at least a little bit of that. And we're going back onto the Far Mercy Doom Fist. Nothing strange from the norm. The Rocket Fist at Farah from the sky is going to be raining so much damage. There's not going to be a top at this time, luckily for Orbit. But that split is just going to bring that Sigma so close. And it's just about making sure this Doom Fist is not a rain on your front line, your back line, really anything. And making sure this fire just doesn't rain consistent damage. His Rocket's just going to try to swing on in. But Shinobu immediately going to shut that down with the help of some friendly Torb turret. And now just a lot of damage gone for Second Chance.
Yeah, that Torb turret makes it really hard to dive against. You have to commit to dive against the scene, but as soon as you commit, that Torb turret is hard focusing you. And as we say a lot of times, that turret can't miss. It literally cannot miss. And it's in a position that is essentially undiveable.
And now we're seeing that Nano come out as Smugs is going to be res. Arissa going to get so low. Khosrow getting so low. But he's going to trade his life for that Shatter. And the Barrage going to be able to find 2. And along with Lerman's Coalescence gone. And there we go. We are seeing Second Chance take this point. Along with some big plays from Shinobu, that Torbjorn. But I think the Ana and Sigma play of Marth should be enough. Especially with this committal of the Gravitic Flux. Making sure that McCree is not going to actually die. As it's once again some casting curse.
I think, yeah, it looks like they're going to turn it away. Oh, and a big headshot there onto him. It brings out the celebratory hammer. And a very, very strong hold here, and that's like we said all night. These teams are very evenly matched. All of these maps could go either way, and it looks like that's what we're gonna see here.
Oh, they're doing a very good hold as they're able to take out Specs, making sure that this attack just takes even longer as we're waiting around the 2-minute mark. You see Solsta with the Gravitic Flux, Shinobu with the Deadeye. The Deadeyes really have been on point for Shinobu. They've claimed at least one, on average at least. And even more sometimes, as we're seeing Specs commit to the Valkyrie, here goes Shinobu bringing out that High Noon, and it's not going to be able to find anything with the assistance of that Gravitic Flux. So, ultimates for both sides are very iffy, as we're seeing being committed on both sides.
Yeah, and not the best placement for that bongo there. Oh, it was very attackable. And oh, we see a huge shatter, and that's going to be point.
Yeah, we're hearing that triple kill and quadruple kill sound as Reinhardt is one of the biggest dopamine rushes you can get. Just swinging your hammer.
Oh, that sound
fire
is amazing.
strike. It's amazing.
Oh, that just brings back memories when when Goats was around for the 16 months or however long we had that composition. I played Reinhardt. My gosh, there was nothing more satisfying than that just solid thud sound.
Oh, trust me, I get it much as the next Reinhardt main. But Orbit, the big hold from Second Chance, gonna make sure that Orbit is a little bit delayed, so there's no contester on Arches, as Robe using that Molten Core and the Blizzard along with Smugs, but as two go down on Second Chance, hopefully the freezing is gonna allow Second Chance to at least take one more, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Khosrow charging his way into Narnia there, ended up in the subway system. And used his shatter on the way back after there were so many people down. I think he's going to want that shatter back.
Yeah, but we're not going to need as long of a street space hold. Only around 2 minutes 30. So that's definitely doable. And it's just about fashioning out your ults and, you know, using these counters as we see the My Big Marf's Gravitic Flux and Sumero's Nanos as Bluebit sadly stuck in the wall. That's just going to deal it out. And Shinobu's High Noon not going to do much except feed My Big Marf's shield. And now it's just that aggressive hold coming out. The Gravitic Flux going to bring up one. And that's just going to be more than enough. That's going to allow the rest of Second Chance to clean it up.
Yeah, and Sertal needs to get out, but no, the fears. Oh god, what are they called? There's something fierce. I don't know the adjective.
Bouncy sphere. I don't know, but they actually right now Orbit actually have to get back on the point as we're getting very close to them just taking this out. The Gravitic Flux gonna bring them off. Yeah, off of it just for a little bit. As the Blizzard is being committed by Smugs, but as 3 go down for Orbit, this map just looks out of their hands.
Yeah, just so many ults on the side of Second Chance, and they layer them in a very job well done, and they will go up 2-0 as we go into halftime. But again, a very close map. A slightly better push from Orbit there. You know, they had over 5 minutes on the bank. It could have been a completely different map again.
But Second Chance still making the case why they want to go to the Transcendence tier finals. And we see these great combos with Khosrow, Rocket, the Gravitic Flux Shatter all over the place. And that was just one of the great plays that we saw on this map. And as we go into halftime, it's going to allow Orbit to reconvene, allow them 10 minutes to really consider what map they want to go in, what they want to go on. And it's going to allow Second Chance to think about the mental game and how they want to beat Orbit going into they got 2 more to go to move on. And Orbit, they got a somewhat long hill to climb. They're down 2 maps.
Yeah, they're down 2, but anything can happen, especially they have 10 minutes here at halftime. They can get some coaching. They can get some G Fuel in them if they want. They can get some, get something to eat, get something to drink, rest up, get the pep back, and come out and we can see a very, very strong second half.
Yeah, but we will see you all when we get back after this little halftime break.
Bam.
Yeah, you're right, Val. That's why I don't wear pants while casting. So I know I'm on stream. Welcome back, everybody, to Second Chance versus Orbit.
We need a second chance for this
Currently,
introduction.
I know, I know. Second Chance currently is up 2-0 versus Orbit. And right now, hopefully, we're getting ready to go on to Route 66. Can you give us a little analysis on what we saw previously before halftime?
Yeah, so I think we're seeing a clash of styles here. Orbit wanting to take things a little bit slower with the May compositions, trying to wall them off, section them off. Whereas Second Chance kind of just wants to bully with these brawl rush comps. And it's going to be down to Orbit getting these May walls just right and making these little adjustments, like we said, with their, I think with their ult economy and their ult pressure. And we can see a very long series.
You know, Robe actually did swap from DPS to off tank for Orbit, so I just wanted to mention that. We'll see what they're gonna kind of play. We saw Robe actually did do very well on the May in King's Row.
Yeah, Rogue was playing excellent on the May, and I liked the pick. It worked worked really well on King's Road, worked very well on Anubis, in my opinion. So I think that we see him come out on it again, or at least somebody come out on the May on Route 66 here.
Yeah, May at this point is everywhere, so you would expect it, no doubt.
Yeah, especially with no bans.
And no bans. The wall, the freeze, she's everywhere. She's so, people. That's why people you do especially want the multi-freeze gone, is what usually I hear.
Yeah.
Is that people want the multi-freeze gone with May.
Yeah, speaking of heroes that are usually banned or that have been banned for a while, Echo we might be seeing coming out to play. I know it's just a hover right now. We still have 15 seconds, so don't get your hopes up, people. It could possibly be switched. But as of right now, Shinobu hovering over the Echo pick.
Shinobu, I mean, seeing an Echo can really be dangerous in the right hands. Those sticky bombs, those focusing beams. And it was just, we're seeing this all come out now, you're able to take out the turret with so much poke damage, and there we go. So much damage already, and Shinobu and Orster are going to trade, but Shinobu, I think, comes out of that positively, because the spawn room is just going to be so close.
Oh, yeah, you definitely take that trade, although you need to do something with it. You need to fall back until he spawns, but as I mentioned, Second Chance, a very aggressive team, just WM1ing into them and just running through the rest of Orbit there.
But I think usually I've seen a lot more of these very, very close hold on Route 66 because it allows you to play very close, you win a couple rounds, and by the time that you lose, you're able to respawn and get a very decent hold, especially on like close. But Shinobu gonna take out Sumeru. That means a lot of heals are gone. Orsted getting very, very low, and as Bluebit takes out My Big Marth, this is gonna allow Orbit to go very fast, go very forward. But I think the rest of Second Chance do need to die, and that's exactly what happened.
But as you mentioned, this gives them a second attack while holding them at spawn for over a full minute. So now they're going to get a second fight where they would usually get, most teams would usually get their first fight. And they're going to have, they're going to have two ults ready to go. They're going to get a third in the middle of the fight. So this is, very good for them in terms of stalling out that time bank.
I mean, that's exactly what they're doing, but Robe taking out Specs and Sumeru at Fire Dynamite just does so much damage, especially with the Afterburn. And Orbit, I believe, especially if they get, the 3 on the car, that should allow them to take this.
Yeah, that should be point. The DPS coming alive for Orbit here. I don't know what happened at halftime, but somebody gave a hell of a speech because they are clicking heads and just running rampant across Second Chance here.
And
5
ultimates going forward. Sertal already using that Valkyrie.
Yeah, pre-fight Valk giving everybody a little extra heals, a little extra damage. But the flux does come out from Khosrow.
As Koster's able to take out Soul, so that means there's going to be no ult charge being gained. But both the tanks are gone. A Bob being used by Robe. Possibly last second. I don't know if that's a possible ult you want back. But it's what we're seeing once again, a very close hold by Second Chance.
Yeah, they're very fun. Like I said, they're an aggressive team. They're very fond of holding close because now there's very few ways you can come, and they know where you're coming from in all of these fights.
And Smug's able to take out Shinobu, meaning that there's not going to be any duplications this time around, but Shinobu gonna bring that back by just taking out Koster, and a shatter by Marv takes out 3 and Bluebit along with it. Solsta Marv being a giga chat on that Reinhardt and making sure that no one from Orbit gets close.
And we're seeing a bit of a swap here. Marv usually playing the off tank. We just saw on King's Row getting those huge gravitic fluxes. You'd think, oh, they're gonna play Sigma here. You're gonna see Marv on a nope. Marv bringing out the shield daddy himself and just devastating them. But he gets shattered there.
Yeah, but the healing, the absolute great healing on Second Chance is going to negate that shatter just completely. And Marf is going to claim Bluebit as well. I think we don't point out the healing enough. Sumero and Specs really are doing a great job of keeping everybody alive. And sadly, it's just not going to be enough as Smugs goes down there.
And that was a really big anti-nade from Sumero that we saw there. A, healing Marv. B, damaging Bluebit, but also preventing Bluebit from getting any heals while Marf was nanoed. Really just changed that entire Rhine 1v1 dynamic, made it a Rhine 2v1, so it's not really fair, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Orbit still technically haven't won the fight, but they're being very aggressive, and this gravitic flux or Costro, a great rock coming out from Solsta, but Marf gonna be right there, and Orsted cleaning up, and just teamwork, the synergy with these ultimates are just so well.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's a lack of respect from Second Chance or just a lack of fear, but they truly believe that they can win every fight that they take. They're just, yeah, we fight here, we recontest here because we're gonna win, and that can actually win you fights that you would normally lose. It's believing you can win, knowing you can win that fight. Just you have the confidence to go in there that you're gonna hit your shots, so you're willing to take the risk.
Confidence is a big thing, and I think it could really help a team go all the way. Big Marf gonna be nanoed as Smug's able to take out Serl. The Shatter not gonna be there, but I don't think it's really gonna matter as Marf, he didn't get his Shatter, so he's not gonna allow another one. A Second Chance are just gonna win another fight. And now,
they have the right counters and they know when to use them. I mean, this is just very, very high quality Overwatch here of knowing what counters what and being disciplined to use it, not being like, oh, I can get a big here, I can get a big ultimate here, knowing that, hey, I need to use my ultimate in this scenario. I'm not gonna go for the hero play.
and that halftime gave Orbit a chance to talk, but it also gave Second Chance the ability to come back. I mean, we see Khosrow on the Sigma, Marf on the Reinhardt, and so far it's working out. Smug's just taking out Sertle again. It's 2 fights in a row that Sertle has gone down by the hands of Smug. Well, Robe is going to trade that. Possible the res come out. No, Shinobu going to punish the res from Specs. And with this Gravitic Flux, that's going to allow Orbit to finally push forward this cart with 15 seconds left.
Yeah, finally getting something going here on second point, but again, because of how aggressive Second Chance was, they're gonna get another fight here on second point, although Cosmo might get staggered. Oh, that was unfortunate.
Very bad, but I think they're keeping 1-2 in the cart. They're finally going to put 3 in the cart, make sure they get that max speed. But because the cart is just so far away from the checkpoint, it's going to allow Costro to respawn. It's going to the rest to get there. And Bob making sure the guardian of that little balcony going to be slept by Sumero. Sleeps have been just on par all night. And right now, we do see Costro coming back from spawn the ultimates, but Shinobu taking out Orsted very early in the fight along with Costro. And already, it seems the Second Chance are just going to be lacking the numbers that they need to win it. And it's going to allow Orbit to take the second point.
Yeah, taking second point, getting another 90 seconds on, and having a chance to finish off this map. And they still have 3 ults going over, but a huge, huge ult bank on the side of Second Chance here. They have 2 up now. They're going to get 3 more. very, very shortly. So 5 ults, realistically into this fight with 3 on the other side, we could see a very, very ult-heavy fight here.
That High Noon being used, but not to the best of ability, not going to find anything. Now Rogue getting very close, but gonna get healed up, and now the ultimates are coming through, but the Shatter gonna be able to punish Mark, and it's gonna bring him to low, but the anti is just gonna be too powerful. The counter Shatter is gonna bring Second Chance to its knees, and 45 seconds left. They have about 2 ults. We see the Gravitic Flux and the High Noon in their pocket, but that's about it with 1 fight territory.
We mentioned it earlier, but Sumi getting a huge anti-nade there again, keeping Marth alive, changing the outcome of that Rhine battle. But only the Gravitic Flux close, like you mentioned, and they have the Flux on the other side. They have the High Noon. We could see the Sky Noon here on the side. Let's see if they go for it.
The Gravitic Flux are going to make up both supports, actually, but it's not going to be able to find anything. But Solsta is going to get Orsted with that. And now it's a 5v. The numbers are just going down for Second Chance. I can't even tell how many are live. And even with only about 1-2 ults in their pocket, they're going to push this card forward as much as they can.
Yeah, and holding on to the High Noon, or sorry, Deadeye technically. Able to get the Earth Shatter up on Reinhardt very, very soon. But both tank ults on the side of Second Chance here.
Culture trying to find a pick onto that ulting McCree. It's not going to do anything. But Barf already taking out the Sigma of Solsta. And just like that, Second Chance are going to win that fight with some really deathbally comp with they've been so good on tonight.
Yeah, but a much further push than we initially thought. From the side of Orbit coming out there. They could have very easily been held at point 1. They could have been held very, very early on to point 2. They had to win 2 fights in overtime just to cap second point. So this could have been a very different map for them. So I think all in all, they should be very happy with that push given everything that happened earlier in the map.
Luckily, unluckily, I guess, they didn't cap that point. And so that's really all Second Chance needs to do. But it's just about how good their first point push is going to be. Are Orbit gonna hold in the train, which is like what we exactly saw on the side of Second Chance? I think it comes down to the type of defense that Orbit wants to play.
Yeah, and we are going to see a pretty brawly comp out of them. And we might see an echo out of Second Chance here as we see that being hovered, but are they trying to be sneaky? They're sneaky beaky walking.
Yeah, I tend not to point out the attacking like comps because they always could literally switch it on the fly. Usually,
they always switch, but
I mean, it's fun to point it out. I remember in Overwatch League, like Season 1, they would put the Symmetra.
Oh, they got hard trolled in Season 1.
Yeah, but no echo today. Sadly, Smugs on that Hanzo or on the Kree, and once again, we're seeing a very aggressive hold. And that's working out already. Shinobu finding Smugs, but still a brawl happening on the right side of this train car.
Yeah, brawl there. And Marth goes down to half health very early. They're using this train almost like a corner fight here. Able to just go out and around, but 2 quick kills there. And that's going to turn the fight. But they do get about 30 seconds off the clock.
Sadly, playing near that kind of cliff area means that Lucio is... You're very susceptible to boofs, and that's exactly what Specs did. Yeah, and now...
Big ult generation from Specs, getting those boops. Him and Orsted both will have ultimate into this next fight, whereas the closest person will be Sertle at 3/4 of an ultimate. So, definitely an advantage for Second Chance here.
But it's still that... very aggressive play is going to allow Orbit to get that still somewhat easy hold, but the Deadeye from Orsted is going to be able to claim Bluebit. That means there's going to be no shield in play. You're still going to have that Sigma, but it's really not going to do too much. But Shinobu is still finding the picks that are needed on that high ground, and it's... I mean, I can't even, because I don't want to curse it. I don't want to curse it. We've cursed it so much.
I was gonna say we have not had some good luck tonight. We'll go ahead and say that, but it does appear for now, the Second Chance has won this fight and should cap. Yep, they do cap. Okay, good. See, we gotta play it a little bit safer there.
Yeah, we weren't cursed in one of the easiest ones to call right there.
Listen, it's baby steps. You gotta work your way up the casting game.
Yeah,
Man.
completely understandable. Lerman is taken down very early by Khosrow, and that means that Second Chance should get a very far push with the cart compared to Orbit's push into seconds.
Yeah, and that can be devastating because they already have over 4 minutes, and it looks like they're gonna get some value out of this dragon, or sorry, wolf, because of the skin. They change it, but a nice counter kill on the specs.
Yeah, it's just Smugs find both the heads of Sertal and Bluebeard, but Marv being the Giga Chad as always in the back line. Shinobu on so low health really can't contest anything of really merit. He's just trying to survive.
Nope, just he's playing hide and seek here.
Oh no!
I don't know if I don't know if they know where he is.
There's no way. Yeah.
Oh, and he's gonna get the heals. He's gonna get out. He made it.
Deadeye from Shinobu is going to be able to find Lermans once again being the opening pick on the fight, taking out that immortality field. And that means that with that Lucio gun, sadly, there's going to be nothing there to really help Orbit. And that means that Second Chance are going to have about 5 minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes, 45 seconds to push third point. And they don't even have to cap.
No, that's the big thing is that pushing it that far just means you win. So you don't even, like I said, you don't have to worry about capping and then pushing again in the second push. They just can flat out win the map here and go up 3-0 and have a stranglehold on this semifinal matchup.
Playing 4 maps and drawing one of them definitely is opposed to losing them, but it still just wears you down. And Bluebit is getting so close to being taken down and finally is. That's going to be another blow to your confidence, as it just looks like Second Chance aren't even trying. They're just rolling over them with just mechanical skill, at least.
Yeah, it looks like Second Chance is warmed up now. They're ready to go. This is the Second Chance we've been watching all season long. They, got such a high seed in the playoffs and just able to devastate.
Khosrow being
the maps were close. This one, though, has been decidedly pretty one-handed as we see a dragon arrow going at the spawn.
Yeah, it's really not. It's hard to say something positive about Orbit right here. It's just everything is getting counterplayed by Second Chance, and the map is over with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the time bank. That's a little bit of a stomp right there.
Yeah, it's pretty one-sided, and it's tough. And Yep, Marv had an excellent map here. Just was really swinging that hammer around, just controlling the tank line, controlling space like you want your main tanks to do. Just all around, just doing what Ryan is supposed to do, just being alpha. The 11 Earthshatter kills on 13 Earthshatter stuns. That is efficiency.
It shows the real teamwork and the damage that Second Chance was able to bring. It's hard to go positively into this next map after going from Route 66 because it was just such a stomp. And hopefully the control will look a little better because Orbit was very, very close to winning. I think that's possibly the closest that Orbit have been to winning a map.
So I'm looking through chat here, and we're gonna possibly need to ban Cavalier. Cold sticks is not a thing. And Weeb Milks is right. That is the reason why Orbit lost that map. Orbit, if you watch the VOD of this, go ahead and blame Cavalier for that. So at least we know who to pin the blame on for that map being so one-sided when all the other maps have been super close.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But I believe we are going to be going on to Nepal. We're still waiting to get the readies from both the teams, but I think that we saw a dive come out from Second Chance on the control point. I think Nepal definitely will be a counter to that a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to run dive on a couple of the Nepal maps. You can run it. Oof, goodness. Sorry about that. Um, you don't really want to run it on Village. You can kind of run it on not Sanctum. What's the other one? Shrine, right? The outside one with the pillar in the
Mhm.
middle. You can run it there. We do see that, but the other two maps are typically more enclosed, brawly, close space, and that could lend one a second chance though, as we just saw on Route 66. They're not afraid to get dirty and just be extremely aggressive.
So I might expect a different kind of style of comp, but do you want second chance on a death ball comp if you're Orbit?
Oof.
I don't know.
I think it depends on if you're putting Robe back onto the May. If you are running the May, then yes, you want to run a death ball because you want to split up the death ball. It doesn't have as big of effect on dive, as dive comes from so many different angles that you can't really wall them off. All right, Mix just finished his popsicle, not his cold stick. Notice chat.
Is
Pay
this
attention.
just gonna be a debate in tranquility forever? Is just cold sticks versus popsicles?
Listen, I've had quite a few food debates. Any Australians in the chat? Hot dogs are way better than snags. I hate to be the bearer of that news.
Snacks are like a different way of saying hot dogs.
So snag, for those of you, so I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here. For those of you who don't know, there's a hardware store in Australia, a very big one, bigger than Home Depot, called Bunnings. And outside of every Bunnings, there's it's called a Bunnings snag, and it's a sausage. It's a really tasty sausage, but instead of a bun, they just use a piece of white bread, folded over with like a little bit of like this off ketchup stuff, and that's it. That's a snag. So people go for a Bunnings snag is what it's called.
Interesting.
But it doesn't hold a candle to a real hot dog.
Thing is, I've never had it, so I can't really compare it to a hot dog because I've only had the hot dog. So...
I mean, it sounds like you're saying you prefer Australia over the USA. So
that's a very broad. Where did you get that?
That's how you trap them, folks.
Wow. All right then. Think we might be getting ready to go into Nepal, talking about freaking snags or whatever. But at least I'll know what to try if I ever go down to Australia.
Yeah, get yourself a Bunnings snag. You'll be fine. You'll fit in like a loaf.
That doesn't feel like the English language.
It's not.
Bunnings snag. All right.
It's not.
We're gonna start out on Sanctum here, which is a very enclosed map. We sometimes do see Pharahs appear on this map, able to boop off, able to, since teams are so grouped up, you're able to grain in just so much damage. And I might expect that from at least one of the teams, possibly more Wrecking Ball, but it's kind of hard to base the comps because we haven't seen one like stagnant comp.
No, that's a testament to the coaches for these teams, that they have these different comps that they can run on different maps, different scenarios that they have practiced. And it does look like we might see some hamsters coming out here. You certainly do see them. You'll definitely see some Lucios. Maybe a Brigida going for a whip shot or a bash, something like that. But yeah, looks like we're going to see almost a full dive come out from the side of Second Chance here, whereas we see a bit of like a hybrid dive. Nope, they're going to go full bunker, it appears, on the side of Orbit.
Bunker usually is seen on this map. You're able to just hunker down on the point. And we're seeing Shinobu on the legs as long with Smug, so which one will be the better boomer? It's hard to say which, but here goes that Khosrow with that dive, trying to just claim something, but a dive just not as effective with the Orisa play. Yeah,
you have the Orisa, you have double shield, so you're able to, block off several different lines of attack. However, as we say that, of course, the Caster Curse comes in strong again. And a double boop, it looked like.
No, the Lucio has the ability to wall ride.
But... He got him, though. He got him with the punch. It counts. I'm counting that. Thank you, Marv. You saved me.
Yeah. Some anti-boop countermeasures, and Orsted...
Orsted wasn't in, though.
Not in the play. But
Merle had
Smug,
a little panic attack there.
yeah, for a second there, I thought I was like, hold on, what game is it? Pause. But right now, Orbit are just trying to retake this point. They gotta really push on strong, not allow this dive to engage on them, and at least find one, which they are able to find Coastal and Rocket and Specs. Make sure Marf does not get a boof though. Just that's your one goal right here. And
as we say that,
come on, Orbit.
You had one job, Orbit.
I think though in the end that should go to Orbit, but
that's 3 environmental kills by my bad caster math.
It's still funny to see, but it's just about kind of delaying the point, getting as much percentage as you can. That's what Specs is really doing. Not lasting too long. But Marf, still with that massive amount of HP, is just rolling around in the point.
I mean, they got it up to 6. They got an extra 15, 18% just from stalling out like that. So kudos to them. But good changes from the side of Orbit here. They swapped to the Brigitte and the Mei, giving themselves a little bit more CC. So when this dive does come in, they're able to shield bash it, freeze it, use the Orisa halt, really hold it in there. So this is going to be really tough on Khosrow coming up in over the next few minutes.
Rocket, that pulse bomb gonna do something, but it's all just gonna take out
that anti-nade.
Sumeru just made it so easy for Casa right there. It was literally a point and click game. Literally.
So Khosrow's gonna show up in the kill feed there as we go down trying to search for Mandata's lost treasure. Khosrow's gonna show up in the kill feed there, but that was all assisted by Sumeru with that anti-nade. That absolutely fat anti-nade.
You think that Orbit would get better at checking the corners, but Khosrow gonna try to get some environmental.
Almost did it again.
Yeah, almost, but luckily there's no shatter. But Rocket gonna one-clip Shinobu. Khosrow finding another environmental. And Smug, it's just there's a kill all around, some team bonding, team ace. And with 99%, we're seeing almost actually the same amount of percentage from the first round of the first map. 30% to 100. Could we see a 100 to 0?
Oh, and a show of unity there. Everybody except for Tracer running off the edge. Come on, man. You gotta listen to the callouts. If your IGL says jump off the map, you've got to be willing to jump off the map there.
Yeah, I mean, if your mom asks you, would you jump off a map if all your other friends did? Like,
yes,
right here, yeah.
My IGL told me to.
That's the excuse you got to give. Like on your gravestone, my IGL told me to.
I mean, my gravestone's just gonna say ran it down mid. Because that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do all day, and we're going back to the Pharah from Smug. Pharmacy keeping the kind of dive theme. Marf on the hamster just has been.
I think he's just vibing out now. He had fun on the hamster.
He's
coming back. But this is also a really good map for him. That big pillar in the middle, you attach that claw to, and you spin to win, baby.
And Rocket on that Doomfist again, probably going to want to be dealing some massive damage like we saw last map, allowing him to secure the point. And that Immortality Field already being displayed, and it's not really going to do too much. It's just trying to take out one. Khosrow getting so low, but nothing going to happen. The point actually almost going to second chance or Orbit, and it is going to eventually flip. And as the damage is still being reined in, it means that second chance is going to have to back off currently.
Well, fortunate reload there for Shinobu. He had Marf stunned, but had to reload. Oh, yes, it feels bad.
It's a luck of the draw sometimes. It be like that. And the ultimate game, though, ultimates are actually pretty close. You got about 5 that are about to appear for each team. And it's just about, I think, there's so much damage in second chance, and I was about to mention Smugs.
What a headshot.
Yeah, I mean, with the Mei right click, sometimes it's
not easy. Not easy.
Definitely not. But Smug's gonna get res. That means that barrage is possible to happen again. Shinobu's Deadeye not gonna be able to find anything, and it's just the ultimate game here. Which one is gonna come out on top? And it looks like it's gonna be second chance. And you're gonna be able to save the barrage of Pharah as well.
Yeah, and again, I know we keep harping on, but another big anti-nade from Samira coming in mid-fight there. Everybody was about even. Off both sides were about down to half health. Sumi hits a huge anti-nade, so the side of Orbit can't get healed up, whereas Sumi and Specs were able to heal up the rest of Second Chance and ended up turning that fight.
Sadly, we're not going to see a little bit of a replay from the first map, as Second Chance is going to bring the point in their vicinity. And my eyes are on Smugs with this barrage.
I mean, he's been able to live through every barrage so far.
Yeah, and just like that, able to find the McCree, able to find. How did that many people die that quickly? I don't know.
You take that if you're Smugs, though. You'll die for a triple kill.
Oh, of course. That means that your team is just going to continue racking up those percentage points. And while you may not have ult, you are still once again getting those precious percentage points.
Yeah, and they may not have ults now, but Marth on that hamster able to stall for days, and they will definitely build up probably all of the ultimates except for the barrage in this next fight, because that hamster is just a pain in the butt to kill. But a quick kill from Rocket.
And that Meteor Strike is going to take out 3!
Oh! 4! And the punch! Give him the ace! The ace from Rocket!
Oh, the ace there! That was... I'm totally thinking that Second Chance wanted to give Rocket that right there.
I don't think I've ever seen 3 kills on a naked whatever his ultimate is, the Meteor Slam.
Yeah. That one ult, it's just gonna be so big.
That was absolutely mess. And he gets another one. It's the Rocket show. This is map 1 all over again.
Oh, of course, taking out Shinobu.
That's 8.
Get him another one, another one. Oh, sadly that punch's not gonna connect. That doesn't really matter.
9 in a row.
No way. Yeah, I mean, contrary to if we look at that first map, Rocket brought his team back just like last time, and he's gonna get
That's 10, folks.
Again, 10 in a row, not dying, and sadly his streak is gonna come to an end. And now you gotta hold this, because this is your entire season right here for Orbit. You hold this, or you lose the entire season and you fall. So what's it gonna be?
And again, only a beat and a coalescence, although they are close to Gravitic Flux, so they should have something that's Smug swapping over to the Genji. They're gonna try to build up a Nano Blade in the 15%. I don't know if that can be done. That's a bold swap there.
I mean, I don't doubt Smug's ability, but Rocket
going for another one.
Yeah, it's just gonna bring out so you can get such a big slam, and it's gonna claim 1. That's Robe. Moira luckily gonna be able to coalesce out of it, but overtime is in session. And the Rocket Show has begun, able to find Shinobu, and definitely more in the way as Marth's mines are just going to shut off the point. And now it's just about cleanup duty, making sure that nothing happens. Smugs taking out Solsta, and just the ultimates are there for Second Chance, and it's looking like the season is coming to an end for Orbit, as that overtime wick has no chance of going down in the point. It's gonna flip over to Second Chance.
Yep, and it looks like Second Chance clearing the point here. It appears to be all over here, and this is going to be the season for Orbit. But a fantastic showing. 3 extremely close maps. In fact, even before, I'll give him to Paul. That was 99-99. So 4 extremely close maps. This may have been a 4-0. This is probably one of the closest 4-0s I've ever seen. But Rocket, wait till you all see this point of view.
Oh my. I'm so glad that I get to see this in that first person perspective. We get the third. We get the punch on the Lucio. The 360 slam onto Shinobu. And then the emote to finish it off. Because
you have to. You have to style.
Oh, of course. 71%
71.
kill participation. That's... Wow.
That's gross.
I mean, but Second Chance punching their ticket to the Transcendence tier finals.
Doomfist punching the ticket.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And they're going to face the winner of Uncommitted and Rebellion.
And that should be a very interesting map. Rebellion beating the #1 seed Havoc. Taking them down. Uncommitted, though, making an insane run. so far. This team doesn't do it. They don't practice. They don't scram, but
They make it work.
they make it work. And this should be a very, very fun match. And I'm excited to see who gets to meet Second Chance in the finals. That's going to be a hell of a match.
And so you saw this match, but maybe you're not done. So we look at upcoming matches. We've got the number 1 seed, Holy Jalapenos, facing the number 2 seed, Modify, in the Harmony Tier Finals coming up tomorrow. So make sure you do not miss it because it's going to be a great game. Holy Jalapenos are going for the double victory, the first time possible in Tranquility history. Now on Thursday, we've got number 1 Caliber versus number 5 Tailwind, and this is, I believe, the Discord tier semifinals. And then on Friday, I mentioned the Uncommitted versus Rebellion game, and all those games are sure to be great.
Oh, definitely. I don't know which I'm most excited. I think by default I have to be most excited for the Holy Jalapenos versus Modified simply because it is the finals matchup. And like you mentioned, Jalapenos has the chance to be the first back-to-back champion in Harmony. So we could see history in the making here, folks.
Yeah, and make sure you're there. But I mean, thank you everybody so much for tuning in. We see Second Chance beat Orbit 4-0 and make their way to the finals coming in. And what else is there to say? We saw a great play from both teams, but Second Chance is just gonna punch it out.
Yeah, don't forget to check us out. We do post all of our matches to YouTube later on. So youtube.com/ I believe just OW. Is it Overwatch Tranquility or OW Tranquility? I'm not. Yeah, it should be on the screen for you folks. And of course, you can catch us here at twitch.tv/OW Tranquility. Anytime we have several matches a week, we have our Irish podcast on Monday. You always have the VODs that you can go back and watch. You can catch our Twitters, everything. Please go give us a like. Please, because we depend on your support. This is a community built by, we depend on you guys to keep the community thriving. So please, every like, every share matters so much for all of us.
I mean, personally, if you want to, check out me, you can check out my Twitter at LightRose17 and my Twitch at LightRose.
And you can catch me twitch.tv/VolNilo and twitter.com/VolNilo. So please go give me a follow. I would really appreciate that. But I hope everybody has a great night. And just remember, Cav, this was all your fault.
Definitely the cold sticks. And also make sure we had our amazing caster, Juke. Always a pleasure. They do their Twitch head. Sadly, they're not going to be continuing on that for next season, but they are great at what they do. You can check them out. Their Twitter at JukeCast. And I think, Juke. I mean, what else can I say about Juke? We've all heard so much about them.
We love them.
We love them, yeah.
Everybody loves Juke.
Yeah, Juke is don't give yourself too big of an ego there, Juke. But
he hangs out at the hottest clubs.
You wouldn't talk to him like that at LAN, guys.
Yeah. You wouldn't mess with him at LAN.
All right. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow.